The opening day starters are announced. The hot dogs are getting ready to get thrown on the grill. Farmer John's or whatever the hell it is. These Hoffy hot dogs. The crazy food offerings have been announced, and that can only mean one thing. It's time for our Halos in the Infield preview show. Fernando the Lone Star Halo, Todd Fox, Rob, we are out here. All that and more after this.
You are watching the Halos in the Infield podcast. From everything Halos to full series recaps to upcoming series projections for the fans by the fans. Enjoy the show.
Hey, welcome in, everybody. It is a Tuesday. Hope all is well. And wherever you're staying right now, you're probably watching or checking us out as you're watching the Angels and Dodgers go for Game 3. The Angels are 0-1-1 in the first two games of the Freeway Series. We will be talking about a lot about who is going to be hot, who's going to be cold, our predictions overall on the roster and the team moving forward, what they're going to do in the standings. But, fellas, as before I introduce each one of you guys on there, I got something to say. So let me just get this out of the way. I gotta address the elephant in the room. And basically, I just want to say that, the whole term about turning the page, moving on, moving forward, trying to let bygones be bygones. When we started this page, we wanted to be very edgy. We wanted to be very, out there, and we still are. I still feel like we're the bad boys of Angels podcasting. However, there's times where we've gone overboard. And when I mean we, I mostly mean me. And I want to apologize to a few people. And I figured on starting anew this year, seeing that we're going into the 5th year of our quote-unquote franchise, quote-unquote podcast. And I want to say, I've gone hard on a lot of people. Sometimes it's hurt the brand itself, and I've had to apologize to my boys because they get the collateral damage from it. Sometimes I put my foot in my mouth. It is what it is. And I don't like to be like that all the time. I know some of the fans like it and they kind of cheer me on and stuff like that. And most of it's been in good taste. I have not crossed the line to be canceled and stuff like that. But I wanted to come on here to because we've had a rivalry set up by certain disagreements that should never have been aired on either side, and mostly on our side because we kept pushing it. I kept pushing it. So I want to formally apologize, and I know I'm going to get some flack from our regulars and the people that have been following since day one because I got them cheering on my side, and so I have to apologize for that too. I've been wanting to have the Angels podcast group or the Angels, as far as fans, be together against the hated ones, the true hated ones, which is AM 830. When it comes to we want to be realists. I think all of us want to be together. We all have a common goal of winning, as Charlie Sheen would say. And I think that gets lost in translation when we're fighting each other. And we've always wanted all of us Angels podcasts to be together. And we've rubbed each other along the way, the wrong way at times, and said certain things, and especially myself, because I'm only going to speak for myself, nobody else. So I want to apologize. And I want to say, I want to put the olive branch out there proverbially to the Super Halo brothers. And this is nothing that they've pushed for me to do. This is all on my own. This is all on the pages, on behalf of the page as well. I'm not going to be one of these guys that's going to harp on things anymore. And I don't want to be, continuing the negativity. We got enough negative things between the lines to worry about than just stuff that's going to turn fans away. And we want to bring people to the page. We want to show them our content. We don't want to discourage people from going to their stuff either. We want them to succeed well, because when everybody succeeds, everybody eats at the table. So from the bottom of my heart, Todd Fox here, taking the initiative and wanting to apologize for, the bashing. I want things to be, I want to start 2026 on a high note. So with that being said, guys, welcome into the show, Rob and Fernando.
Thanks. I don't know how to follow that up.
Good night, everybody. No, I was kidding.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, sorry I had to spring that on you guys. Just
No,
I've had that on my chest for a while.
Yeah, I think it had to be said. We like to tease other pages, and there's a fine line between teasing and there's a fine line when it's like, okay, I think it's gone too far. We've extended an olive branch in the past. It hasn't worked in the past. Hopefully, bygones can be bygones on both sides for all pages, really. There's enough. There's enough to eat out there for everyone. So I'll leave it at that.
I mean, yeah, that's you hit the nail on the head on that one, right? When the Angels win, we get back there, we all want to be celebrating together. We don't want to be at odds. I mean, it's a good way to put it. Just turn the page, man. Let's move forward as fans together. Let's build the community.
Yeah, I agree because it's like we can easily share their stuff, they could share our stuff, and that only helps for our fans to see their stuff if they like it or not, and vice versa. Because we every page isn't for everybody, but the whole thing, if we have the common goal and we're not ripping people, I think that's a benefit. So that's where I wanted to apologize and move forward and start anew in 26.
Man, I'm getting roasted in these comments already. What the hell did I do?
I'm a Halo Hawk Rob. They're not wrong.
All right. Well, with that being said, we got some killer comments already. Let's get started here. I don't know if you guys want to do overall record or save that for the end. You guys want to just jump into?
We can start with that.
Okay. Let's see who wants to go first in this one. On the AL West. No?
All right.
Want to kick off?
All right. So I think I'll go. I think Seattle is going to run away with the division. I think last year I thought that they were Rob is the third Halo. Don't they have a third Halo brother? I'm pretty sure they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think he might be kind of like Frankie Jonas is, like the Jonas Brothers. Like, yeah, you're related, but you're not a super Halo brother. It's like Frankie Jonas. You're related to us. You're a Jonas brother, but you're not a Jonas brother. So Rob's the fourth.
Rob's a cousin.
Dang, you're brutal,
Twice removed. I think this is Seattle's division to lose. I think number 2 is going to be Texas. Number 3 is going to be Houston. Number 4 is going to be the Western Hemisphere, Oakland, Sacramento, the Republic of China Athletics. And I think we are going to be gracing 5th place. And if you want, I can share the record. If not, we can let you guys give your division.
Yeah, let's do the record because I do have James's up here too. He sent me his.
I think the Angels. I haven't done anyone else's record because I don't care about the other teams. I think the Angels are going to be 71-91, and the biggest reason for that is I feel like a lot of people give Todd and I a hard time for being pessimistic, but I feel like most of the time when we give season predictions, Todd and I are pretty honkish, if you will, because more often than not, Todd and I are always saying 80-something games, and it was always James coming and being like, no, it's like 60 wins, 70 wins. James was always the one reeling us back in, and he's right more often than not.
Yeah, he is.
So you know what? I'm going to take James's approach. This is before I know his record prediction, and guess 5th place, 71-91. Angels, prove me wrong. I'm hoping they do. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. Todd's definitely been wrong saying that Jose Suarez was a good pitcher. By the way, did you say he's going to make the opening day roster for the Braves?
Is
Good
he?
for Jose
Is he really?
Suarez.
Wow. That's I thought he was already out of the league, man. That's
Lost a bet.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Rob, do you want to go or should I go with James?
No, I'll take it. I think Seattle takes it right there. I'm gonna go as well with the Rangers second here. I think Astros third. That's gonna be a close one right there, guys. That's head to head. I mean, Mackenzie Gore for me, that's the deciding factor because if he could turn it on like he did last year in the first half of the season, different team overall. I will put us ahead of the A's, and the only reason why is because I'm not too keen on their pitching right now. They have some great hitters, great young guys, but it reminds me currently of the Angels, like 2015, 2016. Hey, we can score 8-9 runs, but hey, we'll give up 10 to 12. That's what that's the thing I get from those guys. Luis Severino didn't look great overall. So I'll put us ahead of them, and I do have us at, and I hate to say it, Fernando, I don't want to. I'll go up a little bit. I'll go 75 wins because I had it 71, but I don't want to go a bunch. But I'll say 75 right
This
there.
is the
I think.
Price is Right for sure.
Well, I'll tell you what Perry Manassian said. He said over the weekend that he thinks that the Angels, to really improve and have a successful season, they have to improve by 10 to 15 wins from last year. I don't know if that's possible. That's a realistic goal, but it's a nice goal to have.
Well, let's be realistic about it though too. Last year we shut everyone down in September. Neto was
Yeah.
shut down for the year. So if we actually take September serious or be somewhat competitive with it overall, because we shut a lot of guys down. Didn't have Trout playing, didn't have Neto playing. Ohapi was going back and forth, changing his swing. They were changing his stance behind the dish and everything, how they wanted to play. He was hyper focused on that. So we lost a lot of things. Our starting pitching, we started Caden Dana more often. I still don't think that guy's ready. But if you take September a little bit more serious, yeah, of course you can turn it around. I think you can turn around 10 games. Because honestly, who do we have in September? Our starting lineups. So I'm
Yeah,
doing the lineup cards. There were new names every single day. Nothing was consistent. New pitchers. It's not hard to turn that around overall. They're major leaguers, right? There's some good young talent here. We don't have I'm not saying, hey, we're winning the World Series and going to the playoffs. Calm down, everybody. Call me Rod and Halo Bro or whatever. What do they call me? This guy's calling something else.
They
But
called you the third Halo, bro.
I don't understand that one, but I will get there on that. But we're there, guys. There's some solid talent there. There's a reason why teams were calling for Zach Neto. Right?
Yeah.
He's premier player. And if we just need a couple guys here and there to step up, Soler looks good so far. I don't think it's sustainable for him for a whole season, but here and there, we just got to make the difference up overall. And I think a couple starting pitchers right now with Quanowitz, the way he's throwing, I'm very hyped on him. And a couple Clausen look good for a couple innings. So it's there. The talent's there to be a step above we were last year if we don't give up.
You had Denzer Guzman was our leading hitter in September last year, so I should tell you something. So with that being said, I'm gonna read off James. He said basically Seattle, Houston, Texas, Oakland, and then the Angels. And he said the Angels will set a record this year with 100 losses. That's his prediction, 62 and 100.
I will say, if they lose 100 games, I think they'll be in that ballpark. But if they lose 100 games, something went really wrong.
Yeah, I think so too. That's why I'm gonna be the biggest Halo honk on Halos in the infield.
Oh God, you might get Captain Everett for this one. You made amends with the other guys, not us.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna really stick my foot in my mouth here. This is gonna be a Suarez type take. I got Seattle still winning the division. I think that they're going to accidentally win this division. I think Houston will be very competitive, but offensively they take a step back, and that will hurt them in the end. But I actually got our Angels in third place. I think they're going to win 77 games and lose 85. And I think that they're going to only get there because Texas, Fernando has mentioned many times, he's high on their pitching, which I agree. It looks great on paper. But they are all very, very injury prone. And offensively, they don't show me anything that they've improved from last year. So if their pitching does hit a snag, which I think it will, I think Texas takes a step back in fourth place with a first-year manager. And I believe Sacramento, Oakland / Western Hemisphere, like Fernando says, will be bright at times. I think they're going to start hot like they did last April, but I think they'll fade at the end.
Wow, that's a hot take for sure. Maybe I'm a little more high on Texas just because I see them the most, probably of any of us. But yeah, no, I think they have a good framework there. I think they have some addition by subtraction, getting rid of Marcus Semien. He was kind of a money pit. Marcus Semien is essentially a perennial all-star, but I think he's an all-star by name only. I can't tell you the last time Marcus Semien truly earned an all-star spot. Obviously, when he was with Toronto that single year and he broke the record for most home runs in a single season by a second baseman, it was well-deserved then. And obviously, he was a very good hitter in Oakland. But he really hasn't been that guy with Texas. He had a pretty good 2023, as did that entire team. But they also got rid of Adolis Garcia. I think that's going to make them better. But that's for another podcast. It seems like Rob, James, and I agree that Texas is going to be second place, right? Rob, you said second place also?
Yeah.
Yeah. But Todd, no. But Todd's also never been big on Texas, even in 2023 when we all told him, "Watch out, Todd, they're going to be good." And he was like, "Nah, they're going to fade away. They're not going to make the playoffs."
I said all year they're just going to fall. I'm just waiting for that final thing. They're going to fall. They're going to fade, and they didn't do it. So
Yeah, they did it after Game 7 of the World Series.
Yeah.
They've never come back since.
They have not.
They've
They have
faded
not.
since then. They have been a
yeah.
mediocre at best team since that 2023 World Series. But honestly, if the Angels won another World Series, I'm okay with sucking for the next 10 years. I would take that in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
By far.
absolutely. Well, with that being said, there was another question that was asked at the Fan Fest or whatever they called it there. Chalk Talk with Perry. How many games does Anthony Rendon play this year? Over under 40. He's still on the roster. So all of us thought that was a complete buyout and he'd walk and all this other stuff. No, he's still part of the team. When the moment he says I'm ready to go, I've rehabbed enough. He is on the roster. He's on the 40-man currently.
He technically hasn't gone to the IL yet, right? Am I wrong?
No.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
There's nothing about him on the IL or rehabbing or anything, but just he could literally just make a phone call and be like, "Yeah, I'm ready to go."
Let me see. Yeah,
So-
we know that's not going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm definitely taking the under at 40 games.
Well, let's talk about this then. We have an opening day starter by the name of Jose Soriano. Do you guys agree that was the right call with everyone on the roster right now as it's constructed?
Rob?
I don't. I'll take the hot take. I don't. I think Jose Soriano has good stuff, but he is fairly inconsistent with it. He has some control issues overall, as we've seen in the past. He's really either lights out or he struggles along, walks guys, works long innings, and gets himself into trouble. And sometimes he can't get himself out of that trouble, especially against good hitting teams, which you're going to see, obviously, with Houston, and you're going to see with the Cubs again. He comes up right with the Cubs. Yeah, he'll come up in the rotation.
The
with the
finale.
Cubs.
Yeah.
So I don't think Kikuchi's the right call. Honestly, I would go with the hot hand, who I think deserved it, and that's Kwanowitz right now. And I'm surprised. The guy barely made the roster, but do you not usually go with the hot hand coming out of there out of spring training to see if there's opening day starter? Because don't tell me Soriano, he has much more experience. He has 1 year as a starter. Come on. So does Kwanowitz had half season. They brought him up too early. Angels don't have much, but I would kind of go roll with the hot hand, and Soriano he's had little things here and there in spring training, but every time I watch him play live and everything, he's always dipping below with that sinker. He cannot control it. It bugs the crap out of me. The guy could be so freaking good. So good. But did we move an actual great relief pitcher to starter who wasn't ready for it yet? Or it just might be the wrong move in general?
Fernando?
I mean, who was the other option? You say Kikuchi. I like Jose Soriano getting a legitimate opportunity to be the number one on this team. I don't want to call him the ace because he certainly hasn't proven that he is an ace. We've said it before. We'll say it again. There isn't a lot of aces left in Major League Baseball. This is probably the lowest amount of aces I've ever seen. With that being said, there is 30 number one starters, right? With what? Maybe 6 or 7 of those guys being true legitimate aces. Jose Soriano is not that yet. Is he going to be the ace for this team by default? It seems like that's the case. Yusei Kikuchi was obviously the more experienced man, I should say. Should that have been enough to give him the opening day start? Perhaps. I had said that I think they should have given it to Kikuchi and waited 1 more year to give it to Soriano until Soriano was truly, undeniably that guy. I don't mind him getting the shake. I think he deserved it more than Andrew Heaney did in 2020, or more than why am I blanking? Who did it the year after that? I think it was like Trevor Cahill in like 2020.
I think so. Yeah. No.
I think Cahill
Bundy?
was 19.
Was it Bundy?
Yeah, I think it was Bundy in 2021. Anyway, there's a long list of guys over the last 5 years that have been opening day starters for the Angels, with the exception of number 17 in, I think, 2022 and 2023. There's really been no definitive answer. There's really been no amazing answer for who's the opening day starter. I don't mind Soriano. I think he's at least earned the shake, and I think he's earned the opportunity to prove that he can be that guy. And that's the other thing. This year needs to be those guys like Soriano, Neto, Shanuel, Adele, these young-ish guys proving that they can do it for a full season, proving that it's not a fluke, and proving that they truly can propel this next era of Angels baseball. Because if Jose Soriano is just going to be an average number 3, number 4 starter in a major league rotation, then the Angels really need to consider trading for an ace, trading for a number 1, number 2, whatever.
Yeah, it's the third year in a row I've heard Trent Rush on the podium or on the radio say to Perry Manassian, it's very hard to get a starting pitcher. Like it's very hard to acquire. No, it's not. So the excuse train continues to go. And I've seen other teams, no matter how bad they are. I mean, there's years where you had Zach Greinke in Kansas City as your ace, but you had a bunch of nobodies behind him. Angels are backwards. They have nobody at the top and still a bunch of nobodies in the rest of the rotation. And this year, literally, you have about 10 or 12 starters. That's one thing I agree with Perry, is that you have 10 or 12 starters fighting for 5 spots. At any time, Kikuchi can just lay an egg, and then all of a sudden, you're using, what if Ben Johnson gets hot, or like Rob said, Kwanowitz, because I still believe from last year.
You mean Ryan Johnson?
Yeah, Ryan Johnson. I'm sorry. But last year, Kwanowitz had a better sinker and better two-seam than friggin' Soriano. I mean, he had great movement to his pitches. He just wasn't consistent. But you look at right now, I mean, you're going into the season, you'd love to have a healthy, reliable Grayson Rodriguez maybe getting the opening day nod, and then going Kikuchi 2 or Soriano 2, take some pressure off those guys. But it is what it is. It's like an open forum now and you got Reed Detmers, who you would have thought would be like a number 5, and now he's your number 3. So yeah, we're gonna definitely test this young pitching right out the bat, dude. Like Greg Maddux,
Mike
Maddux. There you go. He's gonna earn his pay if he's gonna get these guys to turn it around.
Real quick though, too, for Rendon, the reason why he's on the roster, he wasn't bought out. It was a restructured contract. So when you buy out the major league, you got to pay the whole thing out right away. So that's the difference overall. So he has to remain on the roster unless he retires.
They were too cheap to pay him out completely and just let him go. So
yeah, that's a whole nother thing, man. Like I'm gonna vent and get on my soapbox one final time on this Rendon topic. The Angels made such a big mistake not just taking the grenade in 2026, because now you're prolonging having to pay him. For what reason? They didn't go out there and make any big splashes. That was my hope when they restructured that final year of the contract. We still don't exactly know the terms of it. But regardless, you didn't go out there and spend the money that you, in theory, saved. So what's the point? You should have literally just eaten the, $38 million, taken the L like they did with Pujols and like they did with Upton those final years of the contract, and just went with it. Hey, great. 2028 is a brand new year. We don't have to worry about Rendon anymore. But Angels got an Angel.
Yeah, and believe me, they angeled when it came to that contract and every other contract. So now we're going to get into the segment of the show where we're going to talk about who are the hot players, or should we start with the bad first? Should we talk about the negative first and then end it on a positive? Should we reverse our course?
Yeah, you always got to, I like my veggies before I like my steak. Yeah.
All right, well, let's get with the veggies then. Let's talk about your potential disappointments. And I'm going to read off James's because he's not here to go in depth. And then you guys can, whoever else wants to go next, can go in depth on these. So these are his potential disappointments. You can agree or disagree. James says Logan O'Hoppe will continue to struggle at the plate, hitting 199, 13 homers and 38 RBIs. That's his prediction. Nolan Schanuel will continue to get plagued by the launch angle and hit below 250. He says Mike Trout will get hurt chasing a ball in center field and be out with a nagging injury. He's got quite the list for disappointments. Mancada and Soler will both be released by August.
Man,
Pomerantz,
very positive this year.
Yeah, Pomerantz retires at the end of the year. Reed Detmers is once again frustrating, and Adam Frazier will be released, but he winds up with a playoff team. So
A lot of positive there to go
thanks,
off of.
James.
I don't agree with. I'm going to give Logan O'Hoppe the benefit of the doubt simply because he's had a good spring. And I tell you this: if Logan O'Hoppe's batting underneath 200 with 10 home runs, I say cut him. He is already on thin enough ice in my world. I was very disappointed by what I saw from him last year. I don't think he took a step forward offensively last year. His defense was average. The year before that, he was better defensively. But I think Logan O'Hoppe is going to have what I would consider in his world a bounce back season. I still think he's going to be in the 240 to 260 range. I think he'll probably pop about 20 to 23 over the fence. And I think he'll be in that 75 RBI range and provide solid enough defense. In my world, that is Logan O'Hoppe's ceiling. I don't think he's going to be the big star that we were hoping he was going to be when that trade took place. Doesn't seem like Rob agrees. So I'm really interested to see his opinion or hear his opinion. I don't think Mike Trout's going to give you more than 130 games. I think that's everything going well. He'll be at about 130. And that's with probably like 30 to 40% of those being as a DH. I agree. There's probably going to be some kind of nagging injury. I hope Mike Trout proves me wrong, but at this point, we have to go with what we've seen out of Mike Trout, right? It's been a freak injury. It's been a funky injury, and it's been something that we just don't have an answer for. So I agree with that take. He said Nolan Shanuel. I think Nolan Shanuel is going to be fine. I've talked enough trash in the past about Nolan Shanuel, and he's continued to prove me wrong. So now I'm a bit of a Nolan Shanuel homer. He's proven me wrong. I'm a fan of him. His defense has improved. I hope he can continue to trend in that direction. I don't think this guy will ever be in a Gold Glove conversation, but I am no longer worried when the ball goes his way at first base because, we played Little League. We played, college, some minors, different levels here. We've all seen growing up those first basemen. You normally put the kid that is not athletic at all, right? The big built kid can't get a pick. That's normally how it works in Little League. Nolan Shanuel is no longer that. When the ball goes his way, I'm confident that he's able to stop it. That's good. I think he's hitting. This guy is a 270 to 280 hitter. He's a spray in opposite directions. I don't want him to focus on launch angle. If he can get station to station power, gap to gap power, I think that's Nolan Shanuel having a great season. I am really, really hoping that he can prove that he can take a step forward with his power in that regard, not over the fence, but in those gaps and really start being an RBI threat. I think that's it. Reed Detmer is honestly jury's still out.
Any other players that you personally are going to take a step back? Because you hit on James's so far. So
yeah. Step back. I don't think Kikuchi will be an all-star this year. That's kind of the guy that I think is going to take a step back. I'm hoping that I'm wrong. And if for whatever reason his numbers are roughly what they were at the all-star break, I think you really need to take a long, hard, honest look at moving the Yusei Kikuchi contract. He will be a free agent after the 2027 season.
Yeah.
So if this trade deadline, you're getting some calls from some playoff teams to take that, $23 million this year. So at that point, it'd be what? About 12-ish million at the end of July. And the remaining 23 next year, I think you pull the trigger, even if it's a salary dump, because in theory, next year you're going to have a lot of these young guys who are going to be ready. George Klosser should be ready. Maybe even Caden Dana should be ready. Tyler Brenner might be closer to being ready. Ryan Johnson, hopefully. I mean, we've already seen a good spring out of him. Maybe he can prove it at the major league level. We'll have more of an idea of what Soriano is. So I really think that Yusei Kikuchi is going to take a step back this year. but hopefully not too bad of a regression. And I'm trying to think, is there anyone else who I think is going to regress this year? Probably Reed Detmers, but it's because he's a starter. Yeah.
Okay.
So
What you got, Rob?
Hating on Ohapi. So, guys, real quick, I'll get to Ohapi, but I just want to throw it out there. The Ohapi hate needs to stop a little bit. I hope I don't eat my words, but I will eat crow if I have to. But hey, you guys hit the nail on the head. Mike Trout playing center field again. Mike Trout of old, knee injuries, knee problems. I don't care how healthy your spring is. You had all off season, less stress, but now you're going to put the 162 on your back, which we all know he's not going to play, which he should not play the 130 games. Honestly, they should be managing him. I hate it like the NBA, but this dude needs to play 110 games max and rotate him in. If he's hot, DH him. There's no need for him to be in the outfield. Put the ego aside, do what's best for the team, be the leader. Be a leader for your team. If you know that you can't play there and Teodosio is a way better outfielder than you are, come on, guys. Why would you not have that kid go out there and play, especially if he's hitting 300 with speed? I do think another big disappointment we're going to see is Grayson Rodriguez's health and reliability. Already having issues here with this guy. He came off a big arm injury. We traded Taylor Ward away. And I know Taylor Ward was either loved or hated, but at the same time, could he have fetched you somebody else at the trade deadline this year? That could have been more for you long term instead of taking a hope that Grayson Rodriguez can come back healthy off of a major injury and look, dead arm, dude. That's not even really an injury. That's just an issue from that injury before. There's really no timetable in coming back. It's how you feel that day at that point in time. But the other thing is too, Todd brought up we have 12 starters. I hate having that many guys in the mix for 5 positions. It's good to have depth, don't get me wrong. However, give a rookie manager this year, does he have a quick hand with these guys? The guy can't really get settled in because let's be honest, we know guys have bad starts. It happens, especially these young rookies. You cannot plug them after 2 bad starts. Okay, you're done, next guy. It's a rotating cycle of just mediocrity. I do think Reed Detmers at that too, really bad. Really bad. Damn, what did I do to you guys? Whose Cheerios did I piss in? But
Clearly Demetrios.
Yeah, apparently, man.
Yeah. Anyway, Reed Detmers, you had great success as a relief pitcher. Why not keep him there? You don't mean to tell me our bullpen's one of the best because I think that we're going to really struggle this year with our bullpen. Jefferson kind of proved that point last night. Yates overall has control issues. Romano, same issue too. We're hoping to get these guys of old, their MVP type years, or not MVP, but their great years wherever they were at that point in time. We're not getting those guys. We're getting the latter end. You let Kenley Jansen walk away for free. The guy wanted to come back, and you had no interest in signing him. So that's an issue there too. The other issue I have, and I will say the biggest disappointments that could be, and I love the guy to death, is Joe Adell, boomer bust. We've seen it. The power is there, the talent's there. But if Kurt Suzuki's asking these guys to be more patient at the plate, hit for more average, does that play to Joe Adell's strength, or does it weaken his approach at the plate? So far, I don't think it helps him. But on the latter end, I will say with that's going to help a guy like Logan O'Hoppe, the guy who has raw power. He's very good. What do you have? 20-something home runs last year?
Yeah.
It was there. The launch angle is a problem, but now having not only a catching coach, a catcher as a manager, a great defensive catching coach in Max Stassi, where I think that's going to be off of him now defensively. He's going to have that worked out this year. Hardest worker in the room. He was there at spring training a month before pitchers and catchers were supposed to be. It was him, Simo, Adell. They're all working out and doing everything there too. So I think O'Hoppe can turn the table. Don't get me wrong. I think he's like 230, 240 hitter, and I'll take that from a catcher like that if his defense is elite. If he is holding,
he's batting 239 this spring, so you're very, very spot on there.
So I'll take that though. That's what we need out of a catcher right now. If he gives you 20 bombs, that and helps out this pitching staff, has great command, and these guys like throwing to him. And Travis d'Arnaud is also helping him as well too. Sitting there, d'Arnaud, Todd. Travis d'Arnaud. Just want to throw it out there. If you have him there helping O'Hoppe, it's a really a case of there's a high upside. It's boom or bust for O'Hoppe in 26. It really is. I don't think this guy gets released. I think this guy's a breakout player this year with all these things behind him. I think it's going to help him out, and with a more relaxed approach at the plate of just getting on base, old school baseball that Kurt Suzuki's preaching. And I do believe Kurt Suzuki will bring that to us.
You were supposed to save that breakout player for the next segment, but we were just talking about
You
negatives.
are
on this
hating on Ohabi. I couldn't wait, man. I'm sorry,
That's
guys.
fair.
I started.
Real quick,
Always
Rob,
hate on
real
that guy.
quick. Since you brought up Ohapi, look, like a little peek behind the curtain. I know he's your son's favorite player now, right?
Yeah, he
So
is.
I understand there's a little bit of bias built in there. That's fine. Hey, I like Ohapi too. I got his autograph right over there. Let me ask you this, being completely honest, and I'll ask Todd too. If you could have a mulligan right now on the Brandon Marsh trade, would you reverse it? Knowing what you know right now.
No, Brandon Marsh is struggling to hit right now. The Phillies are looking to dump that guy last year. He had a great year when we traded him. They worked on his things, but then he went back to his old habits. He had a boom or bust type season. He was really pressing. The Phillies are a playoff team. There's a lot of pressure there. If you don't produce wise, yeah, he's a great center fielder, but we have Teodosio. No, if I knew we had Teodosio at the time, no, we needed a catcher. If you don't have Logan O'Hoppe today, who do you have?
That's true.
Travis Darno.
Yeah, and you're Chad Wallach as a backup. Not that those guys are bad; those guys are great quality players, but it's not the type of guy to elevate your team because those guys are at their end of their years. We're trying to get these young guys moving and going again, and this one core can come together. If we can get Logan O'Hoppe, Shanoel, Neto, and Adele together, think about that core there and build off that out. Your pitchers will start coming in. And to your guys' point about how it's not hard to get starting pitchers in, it's extremely hard to get starting pitchers in the Angel Stadium right now. Look where the wall is in right field. Who the hell wants to pitch there knowing, like, oh, all they got to do is hit the scoreboard on the wall? I mean, it's not that high. They don't got to hit over the fence anymore. It's a home run. Look at the dimensions around. But my team's kind of crappy. I don't really have help. I can go throw a 1-0 ball game, give up one run, and still lose. I mean, that's the things that pitchers look at overall, right? They want to get paid. They want wins. They want incentives.
Yeah, could you imagine like how few pitchers would go to Boston if all you had to do was hit it a quarter of the way up the Green Monster?
Yeah.
There'd be no righties. It'd be like,
Yeah.
I'm not going there. Hell no.
That's why a lot of people didn't go to Wrigley Field for a while. But look, with Mario's comment, that reminds me, if we
Edgar
didn't trade,
Cuero.
Cuero, yeah, I forgot
Yeah,
about Cuero.
we would have Marsh and Cuero right now. Who knows?
Did we
Well,
trade Cuero away for the pitchers, though? Lucas
Yes.
Giolito and our
Yeah.
infinite wisdom? And didn't get Dylan Cease, the guy under
Yeah.
control?
Todd, same question to you. Would you have still made that trade knowing what you know right now?
No, I actually disagree. I would take Marsh in center field because then that would kick Trout no matter what out of there. Even if, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the brass would still be like, well, he's Mike Trout. Because I had an argument the other day with a coworker. I'm like, that's the difference between the Angels and the Dodgers. Ohtani pushed around the pitching staff, said, hey, Sandoval, you take the day, you pitch today. I don't want to pitch today. Or Griffin, you pitch the day game, I'll pitch the night game. Or I'm going to pitch today, not you guys. And he dictated when he was in the lineup, where he was in the lineup. He doesn't do that with the Dodgers, and he works on what they want. You don't hear about no 6-man rotation when he's in there. We pretty much do whatever the stars want, and you need structure, you need accountability, you need some kind of like I said, structure to keep these guys in line. And I think that, maybe that happens, maybe it doesn't, but I would not move Marsh to left. I mean, I'd keep him in center. Dude plays as good as Teodosio. I agree with Teodosio being there right now. He's just got to work on his bat. I love the guy, but I don't like Trout in center, man. If you had Marsh right now and Cuero, I like Cuero. I mean, he right now you can kind of say, because of the year that O'Hoppe had last year, you can argue both points. You could say, man, if we had Cuero's more reliable, he's more consistent. But Logan O'Hoppe can easily turn it around and have a breakout year, like Rob was saying too. So I think that one's kind of a wash when it comes to the catcher. But I think Brandon Marsh, holding on to him, and considering, like Rob said, we didn't get Cease, we got a terrible pitcher and Giolito. It's like, yeah, we lost that trade.
I was mistaken, too. Marsh didn't hit well last year. It was 2024. He didn't hit that as well. He's a 280 hitter last year.
So in 4 seasons with the Phillies, Brandon Marsh is a 270 hitter. He has an on-base percentage of 345. And if you want his average, so if you take out the roughly 5 full seasons he has worth of games and plate appearances, he's a 261 hitter, on-base percentage of 332. He averages about 10 stolen bases a year.
Yeah.
Walks a pretty decent amount. He is a 12 home run on average type hitter. So even if you take that, the Angels don't have a lot of 260 hitters right now in the lineup, right? You have Neto who will give you that at least. You have Shanuel that'll give you that, and then Marsh would have been number 3, right? So
Well, I'll play devil's advocate on this too, and like when we go and we compare it. I mean, it's easy to say, "Oh yeah, this guy's hitting better," but look at the lineup. Look at the protection that Philly has, and look what the Angels have too. Would he be that same hitter here in Anaheim with no protection at all? Would he face tougher pitches overall? Would they give in? Because who would you rather face at this point in time? Brandon Marsh, Trey Turner, or Bryce Harper? 90% you're going to say Brandon Marsh,
Yeah.
right? Because those other guys have pop, and those other guys can hit well. I mean, I always look at that too. So it's easy to say like, "Hey, the hell
Weapon.
you did get rid of this guy."
All right.
yeah, we did.
All right, blocked it. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's easy. It's hard to play that game, right? Overall, because would he be that same hitter today in Anaheim?
It's hard to say.
There's no
it's
way.
tough.
But all we can do is
Tough.
look at the numbers, right?
Yeah. No, the numbers are great, but I always look at it too. I'm like, look at Otani too. His average went up, did it not, when he went to the Dodgers? But look who he has in the lineup. You can't just pitch around him like you could in the Angels a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he never had a 50-50 season or even came close to that here. So
Yeah.
Well, let me run through my disappointments for this season, and I'm going to go with Jorge Soler only for the fact that I think he's going to do just enough to get himself traded. He's going to be pretty weak out there in the outfield if he does get to play, which I hope he doesn't. And then he might be, one of those strikeout guys. And then Mike Trout, again, I'm going to be hard on him again. Not a leader, and he didn't change his swing like we've been wanting the last 2 years. So I think we're going to get a lot of what we got last year. And he may hit you cracky about 30, 40 homers. But again, 79, 80 RBIs to go along with that. He won't come up with a big double. He won't come up with a big clutch hit. It'll just be the same home run or nothing and a bunch of strikeouts. So I think that will be a disappointment there. I'm also going to lump Josh Lowe in there. I think he's going to be pretty terrible himself. I don't think he's going to have a good year. And then as far as one of the pickups, I think Von Grissom's going to fall on his ass and not be good. And then it's pitching wise, I'm very, very low on Kirby Yates. I do not think he holds the closing role for more than a month and a half. And the fact that you don't have Ben Joyce again, I think coming off the IL, I think it's going to be a problem, and it could be another washed year. This could be the year that they just give up on the Ben Joyce experiment. I really want him to flourish. I really do. But you look at their closing situation, and it just blows you away on how it could look really good on paper, and it's terrible in real life. Kirby Yates, Robert, I got a pain in my arm. I can't pitch. Oh, like Stevenson, that guy is one of the weakest mindsets I've ever seen from a professional ball player. And the fact that, again, we don't have at this point, if Kwanowitz was the ball out and they didn't want to give him a rotational spot, I'd say, hey, throw him in at closer. Or like Rob said, Detmers. But here's my hot take, man. I think because of all these failed experiments in the back end of that bullpen, I'll just jump ahead and I'll just say, I think Sam Bachman falls into that closer spot. I know Josh said it in our chat, and I have to agree with him. I think he just accidentally gets that closer role, and maybe he finally finds his niche in this lineup. But unfortunately, that's like 7 players I've named that I'm kind of down on, but that's how I feel, man.
Another thing I'm down on is how many drives we're going to take with Hyundai this year. There's already been too many. I like Hyundais. I'm a Hyundai purist through and through. But
is that the commercial they're playing a lot right now?
Yeah,
yeah.
I've already seen it like 12 times.
I've got to bring that up. I got to get the right one so I could do it like I did a couple years ago. It's like, hey, it's time to take it right on.
It's kind of take a drive with Hyundai. It's still Jack in the Box too, for whatever it's worth.
Yeah, we got to figure out their next Munchie Meal because it was Snoop forever. All right, let's change it up a little bit. Let's go positive, guys. Let's go positive. James is real quick, and then we'll get Fernando's. James is Joe Adell will have 40 plus homers. He disagrees with me and says Josh Lowe will have 20 homers and 60 RBIs. he says that Zach Neto will have 30 homers, 150 hits, and 75 RBIs at that lead spot. And then Jack Kwanowitz will have an under 5 ERA, which is a run and a half below his last year's ERA of 6.81. And then the last one, he's got Jose Soriano will lead the club with 175 strikeouts.
Wow. Okay. So my positive for this year, and I think this is going to be a hot take coming up on one of the hot take hoedown segments. I think Joe Adell is going to either get to or very much flirt with 30 for 30. I think he has to really commit to the stolen bases. I don't think anybody would be surprised if he hits 30 home runs. I mean, that's kind of expected with the kind of power that he has, especially his approach at the plate, right? It's very much all or nothing. So 30 home runs wouldn't surprise anyone. But I think he has the speed, and now he even has the base running awareness to get 30 stolen bases. I think if Neto stays healthy, he's also going to be at that 30 for 30 number. And I also think that Jorge Soler will hit 30 home runs. So I think they'll have at least 3 players this year who will hit 30 home runs. Could they have some? I mean, Trout could get close to that if he does give you about 140, 150 games. That's not out of the realm of possibility. He certainly won't give you 30 stolen bases anymore. If he does, Todd will come out in a red thong again. So be prepared for that. There you go. Look, there you go. You heard it. You heard it. Randy, take the clip. He will do it if he has a 30 for 30 season.
I won't even shave. I'll have the bushes around it.
Please shave. Please shave. Please shave. Or unless the sponsor wants to pay, he can put the logo on the thong.
Or we could do a live waxing before I go out. So.
Oh, there you go. There you go. With the partner with the local business. Got it.
There you go. That'll put you in rehab. That'll put you in rehab real fast.
We have some sponsors potentially for that too. You never know. So yeah, I think there will be at least 3 players going for at least 30 home runs. I think Soler will get there because it is a contract year. He's 32. He'll be 33 by the end of the season.
Yeah.
So this could realistically be his last chance to get a good contract before, he starts really, really getting long in the tooth. Most players exit their prime at about 32. So he's on the tail end of, potentially his prime. So with that being said, I do think he's going to give the Angels one solid season here. He's going to try to get that paycheck. Most players do. I think Jose Soriano is going to win at least 12 games this year. I was going to say 10, but that's not much of a hot take. So I'm going to say 12 games. And potentially my biggest take, I think the Angels will have a top 15 bullpen in Major League Baseball. And Kirby Yates at the back end of the bullpen will be a solid, not elite, solid Major League closer this year. I think he'll be in the 25-ish savings range. You can't do that here in Texas, Todd. You can't do that.
It's legal here. Rob, what do you think about those takes? And what's yours?
What are you drinking, dude?
It's water out of my Angel's Frost, buddy.
It's the Arctic edition. It's loaded with scotch.
But those takes, I mean, there's some good ones there. I don't know about the Soler home runs. Is he playing every day? And is that the plan? Because we don't really have
the plan is for him to DH more often than not. I think he is the team's DH going into the season.
Yes.
So, which bothers the crap out of me, a 32-year-old who's healthy. That's his thing. And then the guy, Ailing, who you're paying, $35 million to, wants to play center field. So that's a tough one. Kirby Yates won that. Dude, Jansen Kenley didn't even have that. Man. So that's a tough one overall. But, Dave, there are your takes. Mine still is Logan O'Hoppe, and then a couple of the other breakout stars. Zach Neto, of course, man. The fact that we haven't pulled a Boston Red Sox move and signed Zach Neto like they did Roman Anthony, buy out the remaining years of his contract under control, which I believe is 4, if I'm not mistaken, guys. It's this year.
There's a 4.
4 years. So you give him a contract to give him 7 if you can. Pay him more now. It's worth it. Try to get him to commit long-term with you. Have an opt-out clause. Sign him for 10, say at 7 years or 6, 7 years, you can opt out. Get that 2 more years. Get the chance for your minor leagues to develop a little bit because you really don't have a system, but you have some young pitching who's starting to develop, who has an opportunity to. Granted, they can bust at the same time, but if they bust in that time frame that you have Neto, trade him away. Don't do what you did with Otani and hold on and get nothing out of him. So there's an opportunity to play the right way, but Artem Moreno, we know, won't spend money. But honestly, that's one thing we need to do is sign Zach Neto today to 7-year contract. People will go, oh no, he won't do it. Really? What is he getting paid? $12 million this year? You up that from 12 to 30? You're gonna bridge the gap for him, what he would get as a free agent that fifth year. If you bridge the gap
only
over
getting $4.1 million.
dude, so you give him $25 million today, $21 more million. You bridge that gap for those 2 to 3 extra years that you keep him beyond the years of control. I think it makes sense to him financially overall, and he's still young
after
enough.
2029, by the way, Rob.
So he's okay. So you have 4 more years this year, including this year, 26. But you have a lockout year next year. I could see playing the game, maybe a little bit, but that's my whole thing with the Angels. Is not locking these guys down. We did it with Trout. It didn't work out for us well, but we didn't have any clause to protect us. Let's have an opt-out clause where it's the club can let him go after 7 years or trade the guy for once. But that's the guy I need to sign. I'm really, and I'll credit this to Josh on it. I was really digging into Sam Bachman after that. I was clowning him, guys, on our little chat and all that stuff. He kept saying, "Oh, he pitched well in the minor leagues." Minor leagues with minor leagues, guys. I'll say that till I'm blue in the face because I don't care. You can dominate the minor leagues all the time. When you get to the major leagues, you're playing the best of the best. But Bachman's spin rates are out of this world right now. If he could keep it up too, he can be the anchor in the back of that bullpen. I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah, I think that's a hot take by Josh, and that's why I agreed on. You agreed on too. It could be something. And here's mine right here. I'm gonna go with Logan O'Hoppe getting back to basics and becoming better due to the reasons what you guys said was Stassi. I think his hitting will become better with working with Mayberry and Anderson. I think those two guys are underrated as coaches. I think they're going to do some good, and if they actually follow the game plan, we might see more contact than previous seasons, and I think that's going to help guys like Shonowell. I think Shonowell will have a nice, consistent season. Hot take for me is Kyron Paris and Christian Moore, along with Teodosio, will be big contributors to the lineup. I think Moore probably makes it back in May, maybe late April, and gets up here and starts to do some stuff. Hey, listen, that's not.
That's a very hot take. So you're burning too. He was absolutely right to do that.
About 2 of those guys aren't even in the roster right now.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm predicting they will make their mark on this team. And then
the guy who can't play defense or hit right now, he's gonna. Yeah, I agree. Go ahead.
All 3 of them, because we don't even know if Bryce Theodosio's in the roster. So there's a chance all 3 of those guys might not even start in the roster.
Look, Paris did really good in spring, but yeah. I also like the fact that I'll give you one more hot take. Since you got me snorting crack, I might as well. I might as well.
With the point gigolos, by the way.
Yeah, I might as well do it off of hookers. Right now, because I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go way out there on this one, guys. The rotation at the end of the year in September, either due to injury or trade, will only have one pitcher in it left. And that would be Mr. Soriano. I think everyone else is either not playing due to injury or has been traded off, and you're going to have a rotation of Aldegari, Johnson, Kowanowitz,
they're in the rotation now.
Clausen, yeah, at the end of September.
That's not a hot take. That's not a hot take. That's an Angels season.
Yeah, that's what we talked about. Improving at the end of the year.
In July.
But it's like these guys are like not being given a shot right now. They got to earn it. I think it's going to happen because everything that always happens to the Angels, injuries and along with poor play. But I actually do think what Rob said last year, they did lose a lot of games because they didn't have the depth of the talent. But I think that's where the young guys, like I believe Moore, Paris, maybe even Arata can come up there due to injury or poor performance. And maybe they shed a lot of these Siri guys, Grissom, and they actually play with some talent and some push towards the end of August and September. I'm just trying to be positive, guys. That's my hot take.
You know what? I got a minor league hot take, and this is a guy that people have really started to talk about in Major League Baseball over the last 2 weeks. Lucas Ramirez. I think Lucas Ramirez will be a top 20 Major League Baseball prospect by the end of the season. He's already getting a lot of eyes on him. People are already saying that this guy should be a top 30 Major League prospect. So I think that actually happens. He proved it at the World Baseball Classic. He was hitting Major League pitching well. He was dominating Team USA alone. So I think this kid's going to finally get his flowers. And I wouldn't be surprised if when after the draft, when those prospect rankings come out, if he's not one of the Angels' top prospects behind Bremner, maybe, or even ahead of Bremner now. And Angels fans aren't clamoring to see him around in September. Hopefully they don't. But I think he's going to get his moment in the sun this year for sure.
Okay. Well, one guy I do want to ask you guys about right off the bat. We haven't addressed it yet. Alex Manoah. Does he play? Is the over under past the All-Star break with us?
I don't know. Do one of Rob's sons want to play in the organization and take Alex Manoah's spot? Please. Anybody. Rob, you pitched in college. You can go out there, right? I mean,
I didn't pitch very long. The ball went long, but my career did not go very long.
Yeah, dude. Alec Manoah, it was a 1 year, $5 million contract. I mean, if he's starting the year off in the minors, because I still believe he has an option. Nobody's corrected me on it yet, and I've looked it up.
He does.
He does. There you go. If this guy truly what he is organizational depth, and that's what he is, great. So be it. But I don't want to see this guy up at the major league level unless he's literally has like a 0.8 ERA in the minors. Seriously.
Yeah.
Well, he's at for spring training. He's at a 9.39, so he's under 10.
Yeah, exactly.
So
he's higher than Snoop Dogg. I don't want to see.
I told you guys that when I was there. I saw him pitch. It's flat. I threw a flat fastball and the flat fastball goes very far, very quick with these hitters too. Guys have great movement. Look at Skeens and those guys throwing 100 plus with great movement. You throw a flat fastball at 90, dude. High school kids are throwing that. I want to answer a question real quick. Angel fans Dan said, will owners be paying these greedy bastards or if there's no season? The only thing that gets paid out is if you have a signing bonus with a contract wise that's done beforehand, or if you have a deferred payment under contract. Everything else, your regular salary does not get paid that year, so the owners would not be responsible. Obviously, when they get back to playing baseball, there are some talks of back pay, and they work that out, but whatever's agreed upon is agreed upon. But as of now, all that is owed is deferred payments and signing bonuses.
Yeah, so there you go. Anthony Rendon is going to get paid in 2027 no matter what.
Maybe that's why he agreed to it.
No, he's restructured. Anthony Rendon's not get paid on a lockout.
Well, but if he's so after next season, assuming there is deferred money there, because I'm assuming that's what was restructured, right? There has to be some deferral there, yeah. So
that's a retired
player. 2027, there's a chance, right?
Yeah, I mean, they have to pay the deferment, but the deferment to him is just straight payment overall, so he won't get a salary that year.
Okay, well, good. I was gonna say, I wonder if this is why he did it.
They didn't defer. So when we use that word deferred with him, they just moved that whatever $38 million and broke it up into how many different years over a period of time. So yeah, it's deferred money, but they just elongated the contract. Is all they did.
Yeah, you're talking about guys like Bobby Bonilla, Chris Davis of the Orioles that are
They also Ohtani technically would probably be still getting his deferment payment. His salary he wouldn't get for the year, but he'll get his deferment.
It doesn't only make like $2 million in straight up salary.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think there's like 68 of it that's like deferred.
An escrow account.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Insane how they do it. But
crypto or something.
That's one of the years or one of the reasons why we may lose next season. So if you can't get enough of below 500 baseball with the Angels, you're going to miss out on below 500 baseball in 2027. So we'll have to see about that.
Affordability.
Safety first. By the way, I have a safety first shirt coming in with an Angels logo and also a hard hat, which I will be wearing at some point in the first couple games.
Well, judging by the photos you sent us of the stadium, you might want to wear your
yeah, where you sit, yeah, for sure.
You're like right under where the awning meets, right there. And you know what? I'll say the joke. I don't think we'll get canceled for it. So, right where right where Todd sits. He sits in left field, wherever that porch is now. It used to be the Corona porch, and then it was the Modelo porch. Where
Yeah,
is
it's
it now?
Modelo. It's Modelo.
Still Modelo. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, right in left field there, they like painted everything there like that's that navy green, dark green, the Anaheim green. And I had told Todd and everyone in the chat, I was like, oh, look, painting over all the rust is like makeup sex. You know what I mean? You just keep pushing it away. Oh, it's later's problem. We'll worry about that later. You know what I mean? Just makeup sex, throw some paint on it. We're good. We're good. We don't actually have to fix the problem. We just
Like
don't have
Todd
to look
Fox
at it.
sits there. We're fine.
Yeah.
We're fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's on fire around me. Hey, but Dave, there's really good food. I tried the walk-off waffles for the first time. They were pretty good.
Did they see you coming first?
This year.
What happened?
Did they see you coming when you order? Because I don't know if I want to order food with you when I go to the stadium, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
Getting your food.
Start looking at it a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the Nutella didn't kill me. So Mario says lipstick on a pig. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Mario has a good question there for you. Do you guys think there will be a lockout?
As of now, I believe so. I don't think the play. My hottest take, or just my feeling on every strike that happens in any sport, and especially in baseball, is we say it on the network all the time: by the fans, for the fans. MLB should have the same kind of saying. They should be wanting to play for the fans, and it's because of the fans that they are getting paid the salaries that they do. When people are struggling to pay gas and you're bitching and moaning about millions more dollars, and when you have like just the contracts continuing to fluctuate and the owners not wanting to pay, they want to recoup stuff, and it's just billionaires fighting or millionaires fighting with billionaires, that turns people off. And if these two sides would just sit down for 1 second and be like, listen, I know we make a lot of money. There's ways that we could still make more money, but we got to think of the fans first. And they don't do that. And until they do that, I mean, this game has already experienced tremendous growth. But let's just say they were to think of the fans this time and not lock out, and maybe make some more concessions to where they could make more money with TV contracts and sponsors, and then throw a little bit back to the fans by lowering prices a little bit and making it more affordable for families. I mean, it would be a win-win-win. But no, we're not going to do that.
So I think there will be a lockout. I don't think it's going to be the entire season like it was in, what year was it? 94?
94, yeah.
I don't think it's going to be that where there's like playoffs and all that missed. I think there'll be about 2, maybe 3 months of the season that are missed. So it might be an abbreviated season. It might be like in a 100-game type of situation. But I don't think it's going to be the full year, just because these owners know what's at stake, right? I mean, the longer it goes, the more money they're going to lose. But it's not even like the price of like gas. That's like, that's expensive right now. It's like the product that you're paying for, right? For instance, like Fanatics. I know this is a completely different topic, but even going to the team stores, the quality of the jerseys, the shirts, everything is deteriorating. I feel like every Angels shirt I buy online, or I'm a wrestling fan, so the wrestling shirts that Fanatics makes, you can't dry them anymore. Jerseys, you wear them 2 or 3 times and they literally start peeling, or even worse, they're literally screen printed on jerseys now, but you're paying $200. Where 5-6 years ago with Majestic, sure, you were paying $200, but that was like the on-field product, right? They were triple stitched. They were made by hand. I don't mind spending my hard-earned money, $200 for an Angels jersey that's made with good quality. I don't think any of us do, right? Like nowadays, the hats are like $55, $60, which is crazy for a hat. I mean, I'm sure you guys have Angels hats just like I do that are 10 or 15 years old that still look brand new. I can't tell you the difference between the new hats and the older hats. They're still by New Era. They're essentially the same thing. But the price point's gone up like 20, 30%. It's crazy. So, Rob, Todd, you guys have families. I'm sure going to certain games really take a hit to the wallet. You really have to sit around and think now, man, do we want to go to this game? Do we want to go to this game? It's not like we were when we were kids where, hey, Dad, they're giving out blah, blah, blah. Can we go to the game tonight? Dad looks at the good old checking account, which I'm sure he did. Yeah, sure, we can go to the game, whatever. Hey, but you're only getting one ice cream type of thing. Those days are gone. Nowadays, you really have to plan it out. That's not fair to fans. If you're going to make us spend our hard-earned money, that's one thing. But give us, as fans, a better product. And not only the Angels aren't not doing that, Major League Baseball isn't doing that.
Well said. Rob?
Oh yeah, I think there is. I think there should be. Owners are showing losses on it. I know it's called accounting losses, money losses. That they're not losing their own money overall, and the value of the franchises go up the whole time. But I'm tired of people saying, "Oh, they can afford it." Now, yeah, yes and no. It's like we talked about. It's not liquid cash. All this stuff. Long term, yeah. Can you lose if you're spending like this? Can you lose money? Yeah. Look at the Mets, dude. The Mets are hurting that. Would they spend 350? They claim they lost 350 last year. That's considered accounting money. The value of the franchise went up, but their sports network, the regional sports network, goes down because the Yankees are doing well. So people flock there, or fans from around the area. A lot of people from New York move to Florida. So that's another thing. They lose interest in the Mets itself. It's just all over the place with declining TV deals and all that stuff. You need to make it more affordable for the fans. I hate to say it against Artie Moreno, because I hate saying that, but like Mario just said, $45 to park at Dodger Stadium. Are you kidding me? Like, come on, dude. That's $70 if it's a bigger car, if it's a larger vehicle. It's up. I have one larger vehicle, and I don't pay $70 for a freaking game. Imagine having season seats there. I'm sure you buy the parking pass, but there's got to be a point in time where the teams that are in I don't want to say middle of nowhere, but middle of the United States, where income's a little bit lower. Like Fernando said, how do you afford to go to a game? And I go to games. I do look at it with my kids and everything. My wife, we look at go to games because, hey, I'm not about the boycott, all that stuff, because I told you guys in the chat, I'm 100% about that. I'm going to go to the baseball game, especially an Angel game, take my son there, because I'll be damned if I let that kid go be influenced by his friends who are all Dodger fans and become a Dodger fan. No, you're going to sit there, you're going to know what loyalty is, what pain and suffering is, trials and tribulations, and you're going to come out on top one day, hopefully. And it's not the Cubs, like long year drought, but I apologize to my kid for that at the same time. But end of the day, you support the team that you love overall. And Spike Farley, dude, get out of here then. I don't fucking want you here. We support a team. Well, where's all these Dodger fans? Half these Dodger freaking fans in 2002 were wearing freaking Angel jerseys at Angel Stadium. End of story. I have buddies right now who were Angel fans in the 2010s when the Dodgers freaking sucked. Poverty-ass franchise. They went bankrupt, proving the exact point that MLB owners do lose money in itself too. Yeah, it was a bad financial decisions, but you lost in the largest market in the world, one of the largest markets in the world. Your team went bankrupt. So don't start with that BS, dude. Dodgers suck too. So do you. Get the fuck out of here. Sorry for the bad language. That's a family show. But dude, that just proves the fact. It's one bad owner. One bad owner can turn a franchise for the worst.
Yeah.
Overall. So I don't want to hear it.
Who the hell's coming on these comments all of a sudden? Fuck you,
I know. But it happens. I have a buddy right now, hardcore Dodger fan, says, "Oh, Angels sucked." And what his little brother showed me? Oh, hey, here's a picture of him in a freaking Angels jersey. Success. You're bandwagon fans. Half of you guys can't even name your original teams from early 2000s, early 90s. I don't want to fucking hear it. I don't care. That's your choice. It's okay to do that. But don't hate on us for being Angel fans.
Absolutely. Hey, just remember, the same thing I tell every Dodger fan. When you guys are wearing that LA hat, that's an Angels logo. Just remember that. That is an Angels logo.
And you should win. Honestly, you have an all-star of a team, which, hey, the rules allow for it. The deferred money, everything's there. We'll see what happens after this contract. But if you guys lost the World Series, we almost lost. See, look, there's parity. Dude,
whoa, he's 15 now. That's crazy.
Damn.
Wow, since you were 5. Good job, bud.
Wow.
Hey, do you have a Dodgers themed quinceañera?
That well, no, he's having one this year. But
I hope I'm invited.
Yeah, that's the thing, dude. The Dodger fans don't know they have the second most losses ever, I think it is, in World Series history. They didn't start winning till they bought half the league. So
dude,
which is fine. Hey, it's in the rules. They can do what they want to do. Their ownership decided to pay, but it's an anomaly. You have built multiple billionaires on one team overall. What do you think is going to happen?
Mookie, I'll give you a real quick history lesson. The Angels actually date back to Anaheim since the 1890s. So the PCL Angels used to have that LA hat. So that's why I say that LA is an Angels hat. It is. That's a real thing. That's an Angels logo. They bought the Angels technically. The PCL Angels took their logo. So yeah, every time you see that LA Dodgers hat, it's actually an Angels logo. So
Real quick, since you brought up the 94 season, I'm going to go way back. I wish that season would have finished because you would have had probably the first team with an under 500 record to win. The Rangers were 52-62 in first place. The A's were 51-63, a game out. The Mariners were 49-63, 2 games out. And your Angels at California that time were 47-68, 5.5 out. That was awesome.
Was it the year that Matt Williams almost broke the home run record, though? He was on pace to break it.
That was also the year where Tony Gwynn almost hit 400.
And the Expos had the best record in baseball. So
that was before I was born. So,
but look,
wait,
I mean,
94 before you were born?
I was born in 95.
Todd, you're old, dude. Damn.
Oh, here's a 15-year-old take right there. Where's Shohei and where's Prime Trout? You don't know baseball, bro. I mean, that's my biggest complaint with national sports media. Whenever they think of Angels, they're all like, well, they had Shohei and they had Trout. Why weren't they winning? It's because baseball's not the NBA. You could win with Kobe and Shaq in the NBA. Our Kobe and Shaq, you need a supporting cast. And our fearless leader never put anybody around either one of them. And then when he did, one of them was either hurt and the other one was good. And then the one got good and then the other one got hurt. So,
well, proof's in the pudding too, though. Yeah, don't give us that either because you have your opinion. That's fine. But you mean to tell me Miguel Rojas was a sought out guy that if you didn't have that guy there, you would have won the World Series? Absolutely not, dude. You would not. So it takes everything to win.
Oh, jeez.
You know this guy?
No, where's my Dodgers flag?
I think you're watching the wrong show. I don't think that's Fernando.
I don't think I have a Dodgers flag. I might, maybe.
But he comes out with that stuff too. Hey, it takes a team, like Todd said, it takes a whole squad to come in.
Hey, you know what? People. You guys might like this one. Actually, you know what? I do have a Dodgers flag. Where's the Mexico flag from the World Baseball Classic?
No.
You're right. I do have a Dodgers flag.
Hey, he could say that. He could say that.
I do. I hung it up from the World Baseball Classic. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, hey, I got something for you, Mr. Quinceañera. Fuck your Rams. Super Bowl champs.
Hey, we're having to turn that page. We're having to turn that page, yeah. But the cap's opinion. Let the kid have his opinion.
Why is there blue on the Angels flag? I mean, it's a World Series flag.
Rams, yeah, that sounds like a LA fan. Rams are better. We've smacked your ass. Shut up.
All right, so what else? So we said our hot takes. All right, let me ask you guys this. How many All-Stars will the Angels have this year? I'm going to guess 2.
I think 1. Yeah, 1.
1.
The obligatory 1.
But I like who they're going to send. My opinion, Joe Adell.
Ooh.
Okay.
I think Joe Adell makes it.
Zach Neto.
Yeah, Neto needs to get the nod. I mean, it's funny enough that on MLB Network, they talk about the fact that Zach Neto is essentially now the face of the franchise. But Major League Baseball isn't treating him as such still, right? So prove that he's the face of the franchise. Put him in front of a national spotlight. Who knows? Hopefully the next World Baseball Classic, Neto's out there representing. Todd said it'd be Cuba, right?
Yeah, he wants to do Cuba.
I'd like him to go. I mean, hopefully we make the playoffs by then, and this guy is, actually in the national spotlight. But yeah, no, I'd like Zach Neto to finally get a nod. It'd be in Philadelphia this year. So
he could. All right, like true or false. Last thing I got. Do you think if Neto just gets on fire, stays healthy, doesn't have a hand injury again, if he stays healthy, whether they keep him in that number 1 spot or maybe finally put him at a 3-4 spot, maybe protecting Trout or in front of Trout, do you think that he could reach possibly 40 home runs and 100 RBIs? Is true or false?
I don't think he's a 40 home run type of hitter.
No?
I think the approach to plate's different this year, too. We're not looking for the long ball. We're looking for guys on base.
Okay. Fair.
Hey, I will say this. You're preaching to the choir, Mookie. I will say this. Earlier, it was the 4th inning? The Angels, or it's 3rd or 4th inning today against the Dodgers. the Angels had bases loaded and it was a 0-0 game. They made it 3-0. So some situational hitting. So I'd love to see that. Love to see that.
I'm sorry. I was just greasing up my honk for Zach Neto. So sorry.
Yes, Mookie, we know Shohei's on a better team. Yeah, we understand that. Trust me. You don't have to remind us. We see
get
the
it.
product.
Yeah, we get it. Have fun paying him past 40. So
that's why I'm interested to see what this lockout happens, though, man. The salary cap comes in hard with the floor. Everyone goes, "Oh, there needs to be a floor." In my opinion, too, still needs to be a cap. Because if not, then you're gonna these mid-tier players who are just guys who help the team along. You're gonna pay them 30 to 40 million because your top guys are getting 70 to 80. That's insane.
well, here's my only problem
You're
with
going
it.
to have to pay those lower tier guys too, because a lot of these teams are going to have to drastically increase their payroll.
It's inflation.
But see,
it's all inflation.
Here's the thing: if they have a floor and a ceiling and a hard cap top, I really, really hope that there's not this little bullshit pulled by Manfred and others that they're going to grandfather all these contracts in. I hope they hold them to those contracts, and those contracts are just equivalent to any other new contract, and that would automatically put the Dodgers over, and they'd have to start cutting guys or trading guys. That's my hope. That's my hope, because if they're able to grandfather those in and it's not really going to count, that's going to suck. That's just going to be another feather in the cap for the Dodgers.
Yeah, since we have a Dodger fan on here, like, go ahead.
Sorry, be smart. You're 15. What do you know about money? What do you know about finances overall? You live it on your own, dude? Come on, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot to do with finances, man, because there's inflation and everything. That's what we're talking about. Because what's Paul Skeens get? Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, right now, but what should he get? If he's a free agent today, what would he get? What's Scooble going to get?
Jeez,
Then what are you going to pay these guys who are number 2 guys? If we're going to pay those number 2, number 3 guys 30 to 40 million, that's insane. To get 10 to 12 wins?
Scoople's probably going to be getting about, 40 a year? I mean,
I think
with the way the
50
market
right now
is.
at the rate we're going.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If he's getting 50, then I think Skeens is the better pitcher. So what's he going to get when the time comes? I mean, because Skeens is still like 5 years away? 3? Because if you win a Cy Young, your service time goes down, right?
He's won 2 though. So how long has it gone now?
No, he's only won 1. He won a Rookie of the Year the first time.
I'm sorry.
I think second place for that Cy Young. He had a chance, but yeah, he did win last year. So yeah, I think Rookie of the Year might also bring down your eligibility if memory serves correct, because that was built into the last CBA, right? If you win MVP, if you win Cy Young, you have 1 less year granted to you, so you can hit free agency early.
Yeah, he was helping the Pirates. They're abusing that system, keeping those guys down. And yet a Garrett Cole, all-star guy, went up for Cy Young down because they'd bring him up for half a season, put him down before the year started.
Yeah, and that's so stupid. I hate how they manipulate that. I mean, the same thing happened to Chris Bryant when he was making his rookie debut with the Cubs. Same thing. They completely manipulated his service time.
And so everyone knows, I'm not hating just on the Dodgers spending. I'm hating on these other teams who aren't spending enough or who are manipulating the system itself too and holding guys down that should be up and taking that away. So there's a lot that needs to be fixed, not just the top. It's the whole thing. We need an economic reset and a whole contract reset as well too.
Yeah, I'm with both of you guys because, I mean, you think about it, Kyle Tucker's making more than I think it's 7 teams total. Like I think he's got a bigger salary than the Marlins, the shit fucks from Ohio. So yeah, there's an awful lot wrong with baseball.
What's Aaron Judge worth at that point too? I mean, he's a 330 hitter, hits 50 home runs a year, and you're paying what, 30 million?
But you got to take some money off for him not being able to play right field though. Yeah. When it counts. So with that being said, I don't know any final thoughts, guys, for this show, because our next episode will probably be at the end of the week when we're wrapping up what's going on with the Houston series, or we're at least midway through that Houston series. Because man, believe it or not, opening day starts this Thursday in Houston. Soriano will get the start in Houston, or as I like to call it, the House of Horrors. Because God damn it, we're like something like 30 games under 500 at that stadium all time. So that is going to be a tough way to start the season with a not so good roster. You know what I mean? So we'll see what they could do. I'm hoping for a split, guys. Can you be that optimistic, or are we looking at like a 1-3, or what are we thinking?
I think they'll split. I think their adrenaline will split.
Okay.
1-3.
1-3. Okay.
Positive Rob over here. Halo Hunk Rob, as he was saying earlier.
I know if we had James here, he'd be like 0-4.
Yeah, 0-6, but it's only 4 games. 0-6.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man. Well, at least we don't have Manoah leading it off for us, but we'll see how the Angels can do. Let's see if they could turn the proverbial page and extend that olive branch to the hitters, and they could start making contact for once, because that's something right there. Mario says, what's the skinny on the home opener tailgate? I know that Curtis from Halo Tees is doing the Los Cholos under the Big A for Friday the 3rd. And then the 4th, we're doing Mezzo under the Big A. That's going to be our official one. So we're going to kind of be floating around that first tailgate on Friday. And then Saturday, that's going to be our spot. We'll have more information on that next week. We're going to be pumping that next week with potential giveaways, shirt sales, and all that other stuff.
Hey, Halo Tees too. I didn't know his name was Curtis. Thank you for the heads up, man. He helped me get the Logan Hoppy, or helped my son get that Logan Hoppy autograph, man. And kid you not, you made the kid's year, man. I definitely appreciated it. I posted on. I reached out. I didn't reach out to him, but I meant to reach out to him and say thank you and everything. But definitely appreciate that, man. That was huge. My kid got to meet his favorite player, and he's 4 years old. So you guys know how that is.
That's cool, man. Yeah, he's got some hookups over there, Halo Tees, and we're gonna be helping him with his stuff too, and he's gonna be giving us a shout out too. So that's cool. It's another way we're changing the minutia and mantra, whatever the hell adjective you want to use, as far as us going forward into the 2026 season. So the team might not be as positive as we are this year, but it's good to be. We revived in 25, and now we're going to spritz in 26 as a whole.
I like that one.
Oh man, Patrick says, "Oh wait, Ryan, yeah, we'll be in 260." Giles says Ryan Johnson is a stud. He deserves to be on the team, and it gives us some hope for the future, because again, he's pitching another good one tonight. So, yeah,
they had him in the 7, 8, 9, or no?
Yeah, right now it's still 3-0. So, looking pretty good.
Not big up bringing those starting pitchers in the middle innings like that. I mean, ruin confidence. It worked out well for him, pitching great, but bugs me sometimes.
Absolutely. All right, guys. It's that time. So we will catch you guys later in the week when we either break down, or we have the post-game show coming up right after Thursday's game. Thursday's game is a 1:00 start, so it'll likely finish around 4:00. You may or may not be out of work or school, but give us a follow, and then if anything, you can come to oh shit. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you all for watching the Halos in the Infield podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe on your way out.